ALP deal analysis. In this training, we'll be discussing the deal analysis further. How do we structure and how do we profit from the ALP system deals? In this deal analysis, let's take the purchase price as $500,000, a term of 3 years. We're putting a down payment 20%, which is $100,000, and the mortgage amount is $400,000, and the interest rate currently is very low at 1.45. Let's take it 2%, and the amortization is 30 years. The monthly payment in this case will be $1,476.82, and let's say the property taxes are $4,500 annually, and the insurance is $1,200. That means the property and the interest will be $1,476.82, property taxes $375, insurance $100. So the total PITI, property, interest, taxes, and insurance will be $1,951.82. Let's say the client is putting 8% down for this deal, on $500,000, that will be $40,000. So the appreciation calculated will be 5%, and the split of difference between the appraised value and the appreciation will be 45 and 55. We'll just take the example that we'll calculate this way, that at the end of the 3-year contract, let's say the price appreciates. So what will be the potential income? So the purchase price for the tenant buyer will be, so the original purchase price was $500,000, $10,000, let's say it's a closing cost. So with a 5% appreciation, the purchase price within the first year will be $535,500, and the second year will be $562,275 and $593,88.75 for the third year. And let's say the client has a bad credit score or has some collections on it, so there's no way they will be qualifying with the A lender. So let's calculate if they are getting from the B lender as 4.99, we can always give them a little bit lower interest rate at 4.59 with a 25-year amortization, $500,000 the purchase price less the $40,000 as down payment. So their monthly mortgage will be $2,569.04. And as for the property taxes, so it's $4,500. We always add 10% for the 3-year contract because it will average out around 3% appreciation, 3.3% appreciation. So $4,950 divided by 12 months, it will be $412.50 per month. Let's take insurance as $100 a month, and the management fee of $50. So the total monthly payment will be $3,331.54. So if the monthly rent is $3,331.54, the additional payment is $300. The monthly payment will be $3,631.54. So if the monthly income for the investor is $3,631.54, the monthly expense is $1,951.82, the net cash flow that's going to come is $1,679.72. Under the boosted saving and additional rent plan, if the client pays $300, so they will get a 20% return on their additional rent, which is $60. And if they pay $600, so they will earn 22% and so on. So the max amount that they will get is $400 as per the chart here. Let's calculate the total down payment accumulated. Boosted saving bonus was $60 times 36 months. That's $2,160. Additional rent $300 a month times 36 months. That's $10,800. Deposit $40,000. So the total deposit accumulated is $52,960. And let's calculate the down payment. If the client is paying $600 a month as additional rent times 36 months, that will save $21,600 plus the boosted saving bonus that he will get is $132 times 36 months. That's $4,752. With the original $40,000 deposit, the total the client will accumulate as down payment is $66,352. Profit for the investor, the total payments received is $40,000 plus the principal pay down will be $26,693.78. Then the monthly cash flow, as you saw earlier, is $1,679.72 times 36 months. That's $60,469.92. Plus the additional rent of $21,600. So the total received by the investor is $148,763.70. And the deposit credited towards the tenant buyer will be $66,352. So a net profit of $82,411.70. So let's look at the return on investment, $82,411.70 divided by the total deposit was $600,000 minus the $40,000 that we received. So it's the investor's investment is actually $60,000. So that gives overall return of 137.35% for 3 years, which is per annum 45.78%, which is a fantastic rate. There's not a single type of investment which will give you constant 40 plus 45% rate of return on your investment. So this is a very safe and very profitable investment. The other scenario where the client is paying $300 a month. So the only difference will be the additional rent is going to be $10,800. So the total receipt of cash or income by the investor will be $137,963.70. The deposit credit will be lower, will be $52,960. So the net profit for the investor will be $85,003.70. So if you look at the ROI in this case, because the investment is only $60,000, so it will be 137.88%, which is almost 46% per annum, which is a really great return. In order to qualify for a mortgage, the investor needs $100,000 income for a $400,000 mortgage. Now let's look at this property will create an additional income of $45,473 in case the client is paying additional rent of $600 a month. So it's worthwhile for us as investors to understand that paying a little bit of the boosted saving bonus is worthwhile because it helps us make more monthly cash flow and make the income higher, which will help us qualify for more properties because we'll be able to buy more properties, although we'll make a little bit less, but as you can see, the overall returns are fantastic. So it doesn't really matter even if you lose a little bit to help in the tenant buyer. So in this case, if the tenant buyer is paying $300 more monthly, so the total income, extra income that it will create for the investor is $43,017.60. The other things remaining the same. So this also greatly helps the investor in qualifying for more mortgage because the beauty is with purchase of every single property, your income is increasing, and your income is increasing more than your expenses. So your debt service ratio is becoming better and better the more properties you own, which is very different from the normal rental business or normal fix and flip business, because once you buy one property, it's hard for you to qualify for the second property because the first property has become burdensome on your income. With the ALP system is that each property you buy adds on more income than expenses. So it helps you qualify for more properties. So as per the option agreement, after 3 years, the purchase price is going to be $590,388.75. And let's assume, for example, for a hot market like it has been currently for the past several years, if the appraisal price, let's say it comes $650,000, then the difference, as per the agreement, the difference between the appraised value and the appreciated value will be $650 minus $590. 388.75. That will be additional appreciation of $59,611.25. In this case, the split would be 45-55 in favor of the investor getting the 45, which will be $26,825.06 as additional income, while the tenant buyer will get $32,786.19, which is a totally different or normal rent to own strategy, because in those cases the tenant does not get anything, and in this case the tenant will get roughly $32,786 as additional. So it increases the tenant buyer's deposit, which will help him greatly qualify for the mortgage. In this case, let's calculate the down payment accumulated by the tenant buyer. So boosted saving bonus will be $60 times 36, that's $2160. Since he's paying additional rent of $300 times 36 months, that's $10,800. Original deposit of $40,000. The split in favor of the tenant buyer will be $32,786. So the total deposit accumulated will be $85,746.19. There's no other strategy which will give a credit of $85,000 to the tenant. So this is a fantastic way for them to save. This is a fantastic way for them to accumulate the deposit to purchase the property. So if the tenant buyer was paying $600 a month, they will accumulate $21,600 plus the bonus of $4,752. And so the total accumulated deposit will be $99,138.19. There's no other plan where the tenant buyer will be credited so much money, and this will definitely help them qualify for mortgage. Let's look at the profit for the investor. The investor received $40,000 down payment. Principal pay down will be $26,693.78. The monthly cash flow of $1,679.72 times 36 months, that will give an additional $60,469.92, plus the additional rent of $21,600, and the split for the investor, that's $26,825. So it will give a total of $175,588.66. The total credit in favor of the tenant buyer will be $66,352. The net profit for the investor will be $109,236.76. So if you look at the return on investment, having invested only $60,000 and earning $109,000, that gives a 182.606% of return, which is 60.69%, which is more than the criminal interest rate charged by the money loan sharks. So in this case, you're doing everything legal. You're helping the tenant in a big way. You're helping the tenant buyer in a huge way, helping them save. On top of that, you are saving all legally. And so you don't have to worry about any penalty or anything for making so much money. So this is a fantastic way of making so much money. And guys, this is not just an example. We have seen practical deals where we have made even a lot more than this deal. Okay. So this is a normal deal. You will be surprised with the amount of profit that you can make. and create a win-win situation still. Let's look at the other scenario where the tenant buyer was paying additional rent of $300 only. And if you look at the total earning of the net profit, in this case is $111,828.76. Given only $60,000 of investment, the investor is earning 186.38% over a 3-year period, which is consistently earning 62.13%. So here's the thing. If you are, as a real estate investor, making this kind of money in your deal, how difficult is it for you to share some of these profits and give your investors maybe 10-15% return, or even 20% return on their money, even 25% return on their money, and still make the difference? If you can be open-minded like that, and you're willing to share, and you're willing to work together with the investor, you can have endless amount of money. You can borrow that, and you can keep on doing the deals and take your game to the next level. So guys, this is the secret of success. Structuring a deal which is very, very safe, safer than anything out there. That's the ALP system. We structure the deal in such a way that it's highly profitable and it's highly safe, without taking any risk, without taking out all the unnecessary risks that are supposed to be there. And we still haven't taken into the account, if seriously into it, we haven't taken into the account the investor will be saving all the minor maintenance things. Maybe toilet is stuck, maybe water is not flowing, maybe the roof is leaking, or maybe any tiles cracked, or maybe the electric plug is not working, or maybe bulbs are fused. Any other thing that a normal rental investor has. Those investors have those problems, but with the ALP system, they have none of those problems. On top of that, they have profit way higher than those investors. So guys, this is the way to go, and I believe we have created a very genuine, very solid system which you should utilize to the best to help your tenant buyers create. And the beauty about this system is it's helping the tenant buyer become a homeowner, which they would not have been without your help. They would have never saved $99,000 without your help. They would have never bounced back. Okay, you may say, okay, the tenant buyer is paying $40,000. I understand that, but there are a lot of houses, a lot of people who are in that dire situation when their house is being repossessed. They might have an even way higher equity than $40,000, which they stand to lose unless you save their house. So having $40,000 as the principal down payment, as the option fee, is not a big thing. I've seen as high as $110,000 of the down payment from the tenant buyer. So guys, it all depends on the situation. It all depends on where they are at their life and what was their current situation. So you have to be, as an investor, you have to be flexible. Each contract is going to be minutely different than the other one that you have done. Everything is going to be a little bit different than the other one, because every individual is going to have their individual problems, and those problems, to solve those problems, you need to be creative. You need to be willing to share and help those people get out of their problems. And if you can do that, you stand to make